welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a post that was on the Roblox developer forum that talks about visual scripting. If you don't already know what visual scripting is, it's a graphics-based system. This means that you're able to code visually. You're able to see the block. Basically, it's like Scratch, if you've ever used Scratch, or one of those child toys. And you know what? If we get 160 likes on this video, I will take the time out of my day and make a fully functional game using Scratch. Heck, if it's even possible, I'll make a 3D game. I'm pretty sure it's not possible, but we'll find a fucking way. There has to be some way. There's a way, but yeah, today we're going to be looking at the comments of this and the discussion that goes on in the developer forums. This is going to be a new series of mine, so I hope you like it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. This is probably going to be the last time I'm going to bug you about it. But yeah, let's get into it. The title to the page on the developer forum is called "Should Visual Scripting Be Implemented into Roblox Studio?" Now, if you guys ever want to find one of the pages to the developer forum, it will be in my description of my video. Sorry about that stutter, but also if there's any links or anything involved within the comments or anything, I'll put that in the description too. So just scroll down to the description and you'll be able to find that there. Now let's move on to the first comment. Now Defrags, I think it's pronounced Defrags, right? Yeah, it's Defrags. Now Defrags opens up the topic saying, "Hello and hope you're having a good day. Main idea, I'd like to discuss about visual scripting and how it's been implemented into multiple game engines like Godot, Unity, and Unreal Engine 4, and hopefully have your answers of whether visual scripting should be inserted into Roblox Studio." What is visual scripting? If you don't exactly know what visual scripting is, it's something like in Blender where you have a shader editor section to mix textures and have a better visual models, and FBR lighting, etc. Here's a sample image of shader editor down below. Blender shader Blender shader editor image. It looks something like this, but let me provide you an actual sample image of what visual scripting looks like. Visual scripting image. Why should we implement visual scripting into Roblox Studio? I honestly think that the reason visual scripting should be in Roblox Studio is because it's just more better for beginners to learn how to learn scripting rather than knowing how to script and type at the same time, along with saving more time and managing more variables, instance, and APIs. For me, the beginning years of learning how to script a game is tough, but with visual scripting, I am really used to it. So now, it's your turn. Should visual scripting be implemented in Roblox? If so, why? If not, why? In one of the comments, Rogchamp said to Hickory, or Hickerly, sorry if I chopped that name, but Hickerly main stated, "Do you like looking through the lines of code, or do you like getting things done faster and easier?" Rogchamp stating towards that, "I don't see how this is any easier to read than it would be as planned code, or as plain code." I chopped that one, sorry. If anything, it's worse in my opinion, since spaghetti code will become literal tangle of connections everywhere instead of easily traceable function calls. It's certainly not faster, since digging through menus to find the right block is going to take a lot longer than just writing 10 characters. And then he also quoted Hickory saying, "People who use blueprints can be slow at typing, doesn't like sitting in front of long pieces of text, or just like how easy it is just to add a few blocks instead of hundreds of lines of code." Rogchamp responded to that with, "I don't think it matters how slow at typing you are. Using visual coding is going to be slower. Sure, it may be helpful for beginners who are still getting used to the language. I don't think it has any significant advantages over Lua in an environment like Roblox beyond the basics, though a user-made plugin can make a transfiller visual code into Lua. For the purpose of educating people using Roblox, if that's the main goal. In fact, I think someone already's done that. Compiling visual code would mean basically translating each block to Lua. This could happen before the game is ran, if Roblox implemented it, or when a plugin button is pressed, since it's not possible to write and make scripts just before the server starts. For example, in my visual coding plugin, I made a function block might look like this, or a function block might look like this, sorry. Tasks hello accepts XYZ, does local var equal a, var equal 288, returns var 100, end. This would then be translated to Lua during the compilation process, or compiling process, excuse me. This is because when you make a block, the plugin creates a table for it to store the info and about the block, such as nested blocks in it, the input it takes, the thing it returns, etc. The compiler uses this info to compose Lua code. Local function hello xyz local var equal a, var equal 288, return var 100, end. Defrex also responded to RogChamp, stating a user plugin can make transpiler visual code into Lua for the purpose of or educating people using Roblox, if that's the main goal. In fact, I think someone's already done that. Defrag says, if it means to educate people, shouldn't they implement visual scripting? Most common languages use it, along with Scratch and other game engines, as mentioned. Also, I really think visual scripting should be implemented as an option, not really as a permanent thing. Defrax also in the same comments on Inscab's statement of it will just complicate things and it will be harder to code with visual scripting since it is generally very limited. Defrax states, what do you mean by limited? Isn't typing a script versus visual scripting both the same thing? Which there is no limit. I think the part where you mentioned where it would be harder to code, I think I would agree, since once you make like super long scripts, example probably like more than 100 lines of code, it would definitely get harder since you have all these boxes just messed up and them being everywhere. Again, in the same comment, he also responded to Relium. Relium stated, visual programming allows artists to implement their ideas. It's not a complete replacement for text-based programming at all, but considerably increases accessibility to making simple games for people who can't quite grasp syntax. I do think this should be done as a plugin instead of having a native Roblox or implementation or god damn it, I can't say the word for some reason. Implementation. I know how to say the word. Like, I know what it means. My eyes are reading it. My brain just can't process it. Give me 1 second. I know the word basically means put in or add. I'm sorry. I just can't say it. It's 4:49 in the morning. I've gotten no sleep. Give me some slack. But he kept stating after that, through C, or though C, Google's Blocky, which directly compiles blocks into code. Fun fact, it even supports Lua out of the box. Pretty cool to know, or And then Defrog stated, "Pretty cool to know this existed. We'll check that out later. I will put it in the description. It's really cool. I just checked it out too." And it's like Scratch, even though I hate Scratch. It's just cool to just mess around with that stuff. Remember, 100 likes and I'll make a game out of Scratch. Or, yeah, using Scratch, not out of Scratch. 4 a.m. Kill me. Comment 3, Alpha Wolves said, "I'll also say no. If Roblox had a way of modifying shaders more than the post effect and other engine level stuff, I wouldn't complain of a simple visual scripting interface to use it. However, I'm against any visual scripting to take over the purpose of code you could type. I only see this as another option. As of now, this is my opinion. If someone actually wants this to be implemented, I assume you aren't just a programmer by trade, but want to still be able to do other job for your game, or and their job for your game. I'd say you're trying to allow bad practice by finding an alternative appealing to your case. No one is stopping anyone from making their own, though. And from the comments, I suppose there is an alternative you can use." Excitler says, "I'm against the implementation. Hey, I'm against the implementation of visual scripting. And yes, I do know it sounds good on the surface, but I would want to congratulate anyone if they ever released a front page game using visual scripting. It is simply too simplified to be used in a large scale. From my interactions, visual scripting is great on a small scale. Think website like code.org. They've helped guide people to understand how computers read and process code through the usage of code blocks. But visual scripting would be a struggle to scale up to the demands of Roblox games. Would need it to have or to the demands that Roblox would need it to have. Since every event and function would need to be accounted for, a task that would make for menus upon menus of code blocks. Part of me thinks it would take longer to code using the code blocks than writing it out yourself. Next issue. I think people should learn to program actual code, and from what I see, Lua is probably a great first language to learn. Use a website such as code.org to learn the basis of coding and grasp how computers read code. If you understand how computers read code, you have already made progress towards understanding how to write full code. And now you can take the first few steps to learn how to write full code. Final issue. I could at least think of getting useful support from or #help and feedback scripting support, since I think we can all agree if you already understand how to type full Lua, you probably not spend much time on using Visual Code Editor. Now, this issue is mostly influenced by the first reasoning that visual code is limited by design. People might ask questions that can only solve by writing out code. So now you have a person who has spent all this time staying in their comfort zone, only using coding, and now has to try to script part of their game by typing their code. The issue is that they don't even know the basics of typing code. In the end, visual code makes it more complex to script things, and I don't see it as something that Roblox could use as a plausible way to script. People should just take the time to make the next step to learn how to type out their code. This is the last comment of the day. I'm going to make a part 2 of this tomorrow. It's already getting 14 minutes, and I don't want to drag out the video too long, so Griffs_O is our last comment. Send him some love, but I believe that block programming for Roblox wouldn't really be an ideal thing. For one, I think it'll be hard to capture every single aspect of programming with blocks, which can make it limited. Yes, it probably more visually appealing for beginners, which someone is currently working on a plugin for this, I believe. Yeah, programming can be hard to learn at first. I believe anyone determined enough can just learn it about anything with Lua. And adding the visual programming would act as a weird middleman in a way, if that makes any sense. Now, my standing with this topic is I think Roblox should work on their scripting first before they implement anything else, because Roblox Studio is pretty buggy in itself, and I don't think visual scripting will make that any better at all, because you have to transfer the blocks and into script and have that run before the server's up, basically, or right when that server is up, when the game starts, right? So I think it'll make it extremely laggy and extremely buggy. If Roblox can fix that, then kudos to them. I think it should be implemented into Roblox for beginners, but I also want you guys to know, you guys need to know basic scripting, like programming, right? Because at some point in time, you will run into the problem of not knowing how to code this thing, or only being able to code this thing with typing the said code, and you need to know how to do that and to maneuver around that, or you'll just completely quit that game if you even make it that far, man. So yeah, that's my topic about that. I said I want to bug you again about liking and subscribing. I am again. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications on when I upload part 2 of this. There's still a ton more that I need to go through, or a ton more comics. We got 55 comments, or this person got 55 comments on his post, so I'm definitely not going to go through all of them, but I am going to do a part 2, because there's around 2 really interesting posts about it that really go in depth to their ideas and everything. And this is just like a little teaser in my first video. It is like 5 o'clock. I am losing all feeling in my toes. I am tired. I'm probably gonna go lay over in my bed and pass out before school starts. So make sure you like and subscribe again. I already told you this. Make sure to get this up to 160 likes, and I'll make a scratch game. Bye.